The world's attention is on the US-Iran ceasefire, but a far more explosive rivalry has just reached the point of no return. April 11, 2026, an Istanbul court formally indicted Prime Minister Netanyahu and 34 Israeli officials, seeking over 4,500 years in prison for crimes against humanity. From a massive overhaul of Türkiye's mobilization laws to a naval standoff in the eastern Mediterranean, the signs are clear. Türkiye and Israel are no longer just rivals. They are preparing for a direct collision. Today, we decode the history, the toxic rhetoric, and the terrifying potential for war. Welcome to Decoded World. To understand 2026, we have to go back to 2009. At Davos, then Prime Minister Erdogan did the unthinkable. He looked the Israeli president in the eye and uttered two words that changed the Middle East forever. 1 minute.
1 minute. I'm going to hold you to the 1 minute, please.
Sayın Perez, benden yaşlısın. Sesin çok yüksek çıkıyor. Biliyorum ki sesinin bu kadar çok yüksek çıkması bir suçluluk psikolojisinin gereğidir. Benim sesim bu kadar yüksek çıkmayacak. Bunu da böyle bilesin. Öldürmeye gelince siz öldürmeyi çok iyi bilirsiniz. Plajlardaki çocukları nasıl öldürdüğünüzü, nasıl vurduğunuzu çok iyi biliyorum.
He walked off that stage and never looked back. 1 year later, the Mavi Marmara raid left 9 Turkish citizens dead. That was the point of no return. For nearly 2 decades, President Erdogan has positioned himself as the sole defender of the Sunni street. In 2026, that vocal defiance has evolved from words into a strategy of direct strategic confrontation. In April 2026, the masks are gone. At the Antalya Diplomacy Forum, Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan accused Israel of using security as a pretext to occupy more territory in Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria. He called the current government fundamentalist and a problem for the whole world. The response from Tel Aviv? Defense Minister Israel Katz mocked Erdogan as a paper tiger and a Muslim Brotherhood man who failed to stop Iranian missiles. When National Security Minister Ben Gvir tweets insults in English and Hebrew, you know the diplomatic exits are officially closed. They aren't just arguing over policy, they are questioning each other's right to lead. Why is 2026 the breaking point? Following the US-Israeli strikes on Iran in February, a massive power vacuum has opened. Ankara fears Israel is using this moment to carve out a puppet state in northern Syria that threatens Turkish borders. Simultaneously, the Blue Homeland 2026 naval exercises, which just concluded on April 9th, saw 120 Turkish ships and 50 combat aircraft dominate the Mediterranean. This was a clear message to the East Med pipeline project. Any attempt to bypass Türkiye's maritime sovereignty is a red line. Türkiye is no longer just talking about its waters. It is auditing its war machine to defend them. To truly decode the fallout of a Türkiye-Israel war in 2026, we have to look at the Goliath versus Titan dynamic through the lens of modern hybrid warfare. This isn't just a clash of armies, it's a clash of two entirely different philosophies of power. Türkiye's advantage. 80% self-sufficiency. Türkiye produces its own drones, Kızılelma TB3, missiles, Hisar Atmesi A, and tanks. It can fight a war of attrition for months without external resupply. With the 9th largest military in the world and 48-hour mobilization laws, Türkiye can overwhelm fronts with sheer numbers and drone swarms. Türkiye controls the Bosphorus and the eastern Mediterranean Blue Homeland. It can physically block Israel's access to Europe and Asia. Israel's advantage, the tech Goliath. Qualitative edge. Israel's F-35 Adir fleet and the newly operational Iron Beam laser system operational since late 2025, provide a high-tech shield that is difficult to saturate. Israel's Unit 8200 and Mossad are built for surgical strikes, targeting leadership and decapitating command structures before they can react. Israel is a compact, highly fortified state with the world's most dense multi-layered missile defense: Iron Dome, David Sling, Arrow 3, and lasers. If war breaks out, the biggest casualty won't be on the battlefield. It will be NATO. As a member, Turkey could technically invoke Article 5, forcing every European nation and the US to come to its rescue. But 2026 has changed the rules. Recently, the newly resigned counterterrorism chief Joe Kent made a chilling prediction. He suggested that if Turkey and Israel ever clash, the US would likely leave NATO just to side with Israel. Why? Because the trust is gone. During the current war with Iran, President Trump called on NATO allies to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most vital oil artery. The allies refused, calling it America's war of choice. The reaction from Washington was swift. Trump labeled NATO a paper tiger and threatened to quit the alliance entirely. If Turkey goes to war with Israel, the US faces a nightmare: defend a NATO ally, Turkey, or its closest ideological partner, Israel. In the MAGA era of 2026, many in Washington are signaling they would burn the alliance down before they would fight Israel. History tells us that Turkey is a nation that has endured waves of foreign aggression, yet no one has ever come close to conquering it. From the War of Independence to its modern role as a gatekeeper, Turkey has built a legacy of resilience. In a 2026 confrontation, this historical endurance gives Ankara a stronger leverage over Israel than many realize. While Israel relies on a compact, high-tech fortress and external US supply lines, which are now under threat of political collapse, Turkey possesses strategic depth and absolute industrial sovereignty. The guardrails are gone. Will the US leave NATO to defend Israel? Or will Turkey's historical leverage force a new regional order? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Decoded World.